she's avoiding dating because she's trying to make her business work. Walk away, question mark.
Well, attraction level cuts through everything. So obviously, if she's super into you and she feels strong feelings of attraction for you, she will make time. And if her feelings are not super strong, then she'll say, "Oh, I'm just so busy. My schedule's crazy." And she just won't be able to make any time in her schedule. And it'll just sound like she's busy, but the reality is, if she really liked you and you were important enough, she would make time for you. And if you bottom line her actions, she won't make time. So if she doesn't make time, you have to assume she's not interested, not available. Because if you're trying to look for a girlfriend, you want somebody who's ready, willing, able, and open to dating.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, she's not that way with you. And so, yeah, just, hey, call me if you change your mind. Call me if your schedule frees up, and we can get together then. And then never call or text again for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
If you never hear from her, well, that tells you where you stand.
Yeah. And before, like, I feel like before getting into dating or getting to know someone, that should be a topic of discussion. Um, like if you are open to dating, like what are your intentions? What are you seeking? And if the person tells you immediately that they don't want a relationship, I think that's your cue to keep it moving. Or if you're really bored and have a lot of time on your hands, pursue. But if she is telling you, listen, I do see a future with you and I do want to get to keep on knowing you, but right now I do have my priorities, I feel like that's reasonable. Like I will still give you the time of day of dating when I can, but it's not going to be as often as you may want or like.
Yeah, if the guy's doing things right, he should not be trying to go out on more dates than you're willing to go out on or make time for. And the hard thing is when you really like somebody and you really care about them and your emotions are involved, it's like in sales.
Mm.
We all make our purchasing decisions based on our emotions, and then after we've emotionally decided to do something or pursue someone or ask them out or try to go on a date or whatever, or invest in a stock because we're chasing the market,
Yeah.
then we use logic and reason to justify it. And so, like in this case, the guy probably really likes the girl,
Mm-hmm.
but she's not available and is giving him excuses that sound reasonable. And it kind of sounds like, well, if I just kind of stay in the background and maybe every few weeks, reach out to her, maybe things will open up.
Yeah.
But the thing they're ignoring is that she's not making time for them. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because if she likes you and she sees you as the type of guy that she would like to be in a relationship with or the type of candidate she would like to date, she'll make time for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if she won't make time for you, then she's just not feeling a strong enough attraction, romantic attraction, to actually go on a date.
Right.
But the excuses sound legitimate. And so guys that don't know any better will end up waiting 6 months or 8 months trying to get a girl out who's busy, or a year even or more.
Yeah.
And she's just always got, oh, I'm this, I got that, I got people coming town, maybe in a few weeks. And she just keeps getting him a Kentucky guarantee, which is just because she doesn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
She's hoping he'll just kind of figure it out and eventually go away. But if you bottom line her actions, women vote with their feet.
Mm-hmm.
If she's with you, it means she voted for you. And if she won't spend time with you, she doesn't like you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Don't take it personally. It's keep looking for a girl that actually is excited to spend time with you, not a chick that's like,
Right.
well, this work's crazy. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I just can't make time right now.
Mm-hmm. Or she's like mentally not there to
She could be
pursue
a Fruit
you.
Loop.
Yeah.
That's true too. There's plenty of them out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Isn't that right, Jade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I did go on a date with a guy. It was just a gym date. It wasn't like a dinner or anything like fancy. It was more like first time meeting him in a public environment, somewhere comfortable where I'm comfortable.
How'd you meet him?
At the gym.
Ah, you met him at the gym, and so he made a date at the gym with you, or you invited him to the gym?
I actually never actually met him physically. I just saw him around and he was my gym crush, but I wasn't planning on approaching or anything. And one day I get a random Instagram DM and it's him. And
Oh,
apparently,
look at
because
that.
I knew the worker that worked there, and I guess he asked her, like, hey, do you know this girl? And she was like,
So
yeah,
he saw you checking out his ass or something, and then went to the front desk and was like, "Hey, this Colombian girl's checking out my butt.
I
Maybe she
guess.
likes me."
And he was just like, oh, ever since I seen you, I thought you were really cute. And I was like, okay, we can go to the gym or something one day. And we planned it and basically we worked out. It was cool. And then it seemed
And
like,
then
and then it seemed like he was very interested in me. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not ready to date. I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm just kind of getting to know people and hang out.
so you
And
friend zoned him.
yeah. And then he was just like, oh, well, unfortunately, I am looking for a girlfriend. I am looking for something serious because he was single for a while. And I was just like, okay, well, you know how I feel. I know how you feel. We don't need to waste each other's time. And after that, we both agreed that we're just better off not pursuing anything.
Yeah, so from an attraction standpoint, is that because a lot, one of the things I say is if you hesitate, you will masturbate as a guy. And so you two are obviously checking each other out in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and you like him, he likes you. But what didn't he do? He didn't come over and talk to you and ask
Yeah.
you out in person. Instead, he goes to the receptionist to talk to her in a low risk way to try to find out information, even though you were giving him the eye that was communicating, hey, big boy. And so instead of him rising to the challenge and saying, wow, this girl likes me, she's, eye fucking me basically,
Mm-hmm.
then he goes to somebody else, a third party, because it's a lot less risk of rejection. And so from what I do, I can tell that shows his level of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And the ultimate end result is you friend zoned him.
Mm-hmm.
So you did a gym date, you're like, he's kind of a little squishy, he's not super strong and masculine, so we'll go to the gym. That way, if it doesn't work out, hey, it was just a workout one time thing, no big deal. I don't have
Yeah.
to be on an awkward date or get all dressed up or trying to find an excuse to leave dinner early or
Right.
oh, I'm not really feeling like having another drink or whatever it happens to be. And
Yeah.
so what you basically told him is, hey, you're a nice guy, but I'm not feeling a spark. There's no chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And women say that a lot. Oh, I'm not looking for a relationship. When in reality, I'm not looking for a relationship means I'm just not looking for a relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was Justin Bieber, you'd have been like, woo,
Yeah. I mean,
I'll be your side piece, Justin.
at the time, I really wasn't looking for a relationship, but I'm sure if he was
Masculine.
like if he was just clicking all my boxes, I probably would have
If he'd have had the
went.
confidence as soon as you were checking each other out, he'd come right over and started chatting you up and then made
Yeah.
an actual real date, you would
Yeah.
have probably gone out with him,
Yeah.
given him a chance. But he showed he didn't have the confidence to approach you in person. He had to go to a third party.
Yeah. And he
That's
was a
not a
little
confident.
obsessive too, which I didn't like. It
Yeah,
was a,
a little clingy.
it was giving a lot of compliments, which I love, I appreciate, but if it's the first time I'm really meeting you and you're just throwing too many
He's
compliments,
drooling on you.
it gets a little,
Verbal drooling.
yeah, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So he didn't measure up.
No, it wasn't.
He hesitated, and he gets to
But
masturbate.
it's funny because actually, like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, I still have him on Instagram and he has a girlfriend. So he found the
Well,
girl.
that was quick.
He found a girl. So good for him.
Maybe she's just as needy as he is. Or
Maybe.
maybe he thinks he's locked her down and she's just going along with it.
Who knows?
There was a video newsletter I did. It was one of the ones I filmed yesterday. And shit, I totally lost my train of thought. What were you just saying right before that?
He got a girlfriend. And you said that maybe she's as clingy as he is.
Oh, I know what it was. So this guy's been dating this girl for like I think it was 5 months. And he read my book, I don't know, a couple times, but that was like a few years ago. And so he's thinking, hey, I got this in the bag. She's totally in love with me. And he says, hey, I want to take you to meet my parents. And I'm going to buy you a ticket. And we're going to fly to wherever it was across the country. And she's like, okay. And he's like, this is great. It's 5 months in.
Mhm.
And if you're dating a guy for 5 months and he's like, I want to fly you to meet my mom and dad, what is the first thing what are you thinking that he's thinking when he says, oh, I want to take you to meet my parents after 5 months of dating?
Um, he wants to get the approval of the parents or engagement.
Exactly. So
Okay.
you're probably thinking, oh shit, this guy's going to try to propose.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so she says yes to this. And then the next day she says, don't buy that ticket. I'm not ready to meet your parents. I'm not. And then she's like, oh, I think we should take a break for a couple weeks.
Dang.
So this guy's thinking, hey, I got this. I'm a 3% man now. And he's 5 months in. And he's asking her to come fly to meet his parents. And obviously it didn't go too well. And so it just shows that he was way more into her than she was into him, and he couldn't tell. He had no idea. He
Wow.
wasn't able to read her attraction.
Yeah.
And it was only 5 months of dating. And it's like the first thing a woman, you guys are just like you said it. I didn't even have to say it for you. You were like, probably engagement. And so that freaked her out. And so
Yeah.
that caused her to really go, where am I? How do I feel about this guy? And obviously the next day she totally canceled. And on top of that, she wanted a break for a few weeks because she's feeling overwhelmed and recognizing that this dude's way more into her than she is into him, kind of
Yeah.
like the dude at the gym. And the reality is, you guys like men more if you think you're way more into them than they are into you.
Was that his intention to propose to her or just to meet the
No, he
parents?
was just like, oh, I wanted to meet my parents because he was very serious about the relationship, obviously.
Yeah.
And he assumed she was in the same place. Plus, I think he was like 20 or 21. So
Oh.
he's young. And he probably didn't realize because he just doesn't have, I think this is like his first real girlfriend. He doesn't realize what that was communicating to her, that he's super serious and he might be getting ready to propose. And that's why she's like, whoa, hey, let's go on break.
Yeah.
Because she's basically saying, I'm not in the same place. I'm not feeling the same thing. I'm not even, not even
Yeah.
thinking marriage or anything super serious like that. So I don't want to give you the wrong idea or the wrong impression that I'm ready to consider marriage after 5 months. And
She
that's
probably
why
has a side piece or something too that
it's
she wasn't
possible. It
take.
just shows that she wasn't as into him as he
Yeah.
thought. He's like, oh, she's totally in love with me. Thinks I'm amazing. I was
Right.
like, he's like, we were just having sex the night before. I was like, yeah, but all that can mean is she enjoys having sex with you. But the reality check he got was he communicated he's super serious, even though that might not have been his actual intent. He just wanted his
Right.
parents to meet his girlfriend, and then he finds out that she's not that into him. And so he got a reality check.
But also, if he's that young, if he's 2021, she's probably young too. And I would personally be scared to fly out. Like, I don't know what I'm getting into, who I'm meeting. You can't trust anyone's family like that to stay there and live at their house. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if he had have phrased it like, "Hey, my parents got a lake house, or they got a summer house, or a beach house. We should go hang out there, and we can hang out with some of my friends and maybe some of my family when we're out there, and go boating or whatever, and it'd be a fun trip." If he'd have maybe phrased it like that as just a casual thing,
Yeah.
that's a little different. But the way he came about it was all
Yeah.
Mr. Serious. Hey, we're gonna go meet my parents.
Too strong. Yeah.
So he crashed and burned.
Wah, wah.
You feel for the guy, but
It is what it is.
because again, in that case, rejection breeds obsession, and he likes her way more than he did before because now she's pulling away from him, and maybe in the back of his mind, he's thinking that he wants to get super serious, but he overrated her interest in him, and he paid the price,
Yeah.
and now he's single, at least for 2 weeks,
He's still young.
probably more.
He'll find a girl.
That was the first one.